And now, before we hear from Carol Mitchell and Alex Garrido, excuse me, I invite you to join this inspirational reading that I'll share with you, and it's from Daily Word, and it's entitled Inner Peace. And I quote, "I allow the peace of God to flow through me now. When I feel stressed by the busyness of my day, I remember the peace of God is as close as my next thought. No matter what is happening around me, I can always choose to experience a deep inner peace. Finding peace requires no strenuous effort, but only my permission and cooperation. Exhaling all tension, I inhale peace. Peace calms my thoughts and emotions and relaxes my body. With each breath, peace fills me and radiates from me. I continue to draw from this deep well of peace as I resume my daily activities with renewed energy and a quickened awareness of the infinite presence." And from Philippians 4:7, "And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds." And so it is.
This is a song that I learned at the Gospel Opry, the bluegrass band that I sing with. So this is a good gospel song, and I hope you like it. Goes with the title of the talk for today. Paul, I pulled this one in your honor today. It's called "In the Midst." Oops. As you travel down life's road, Spirit's with you every day. With every step you take, He walks along with you. And at night as you lay down, angels are camping all around. You'll never walk alone, 'cause He is in the midst. He's in the midst of our storm. He's in the valley we walk through. Where two or three are gathered in His name, He'll be there too. If you feel so all alone, He is standing next to you. He's with us now. He's with us now. He's in the midst. Into the prison they were thrown. Paul and Silas weren't alone. They knew that God was there and He would see them through. So when the walls began to shake and their chains just fell away, they said, "Behold our God, for He is in the midst." He is in the midst of our storm. He's in the valley we walk through. Where two or three are gathered in His name, He'll be there too. When you feel so all alone, He is standing next to you. He's with us now. He's with us now. He's in the midst. He's in the midst of our storm. He's in the valley we walk through. Where two or three are gathered in His name, He'll be there too. If you feel so alone. He's standing next to you. He's with us now. He's with us now. He's in the midst. He's with us now. He's with us now. He's in the midst. Yeah. Yeehaw.
Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to read just a very short passage from the Course in Miracles. I know a lot of you are familiar with the Course in Miracles. Those of you who have heard me speak or read my book know how near and dear it is to my heart. This is from chapter 18. There is nothing outside of you. That is what you must ultimately learn, for that is the realization of the kingdom of heaven is restored to you. For God created only this, the kingdom of heaven, and he did not depart from the kingdom of heaven, nor did God leave it separate from himself. The kingdom of heaven is the dwelling place of the Son of God, which is you, who left not his Father and dwells not apart from it. Heaven is not a place nor a condition. It is merely an awareness of perfect oneness and the knowledge that there is nothing else, nothing outside this oneness, and nothing else within. What could God give but knowledge of himself? What else is there to give? The belief that you could give and get something else, something outside of yourself, has cost you the awareness of heaven and of your identity with a capital I. For those who don't know me, my name is Paul Cardillo, and very quick introduction. By day, I'm an attorney, been practicing for 30 years. And though I spend a great deal of my time with the Course in Miracles for the last 26 years or so, and I had the blessing and the experience of actually seeing physically Jesus. This is Jesus that I saw. It's a story that I won't go over with you again today, but it is in the book that I wrote. That's The Power of Choosing Peace. And there is a power in it. The gift that I had and the gift that I'm here to share with you that comes from heaven is I got to, for an instant, experience the kingdom of heaven with nothing in between who I am and the kingdom of heaven. That's the face of Christ that the Course in Miracles talks about. And my mission, what drives me, is to share that. And there's parts in the Course in Miracles that talks about that, seeing the face of Christ and coming back to share that. The kingdom of heaven, we heard lots of explanations for it and lots of definitions for it. And it simply is the awareness of perfect peace. And it even, this past week, I was shown that even beyond perfect peace, even deeper than perfect peace, is the ecstasy of God. What we're here doing in this world, what we came to look for and what we seem to be looking for, is happiness. You can look back at your life and you can look at what goes on in your life today, and you can see us searching for happiness and contentment. And as you think back on your life and the experiences that you've had, those moments in time that can only be described as pure ecstasy. And all of you just thought of one just now. One of those moments came to your mind. That's the feeling that we're searching for. That feeling of perfect happiness that even exceeds, if it can be believed, exceeds the feeling of happiness. It's ecstatic joy. It's the ecstasy of heaven. Why would we search for heaven if there was not something beyond even just sort of a placid peace? Heaven is eternal ecstasy. That's why we're searching for it. We're searching for that feeling of happiness, beyond what can even be described as ecstasy. Think of those moments in your life. I can think of one. I was skiing 15, 12 years ago, 8,000 miles or 8,000 feet in the mountains in Colorado. And it was getting near dusk, and I was up on a mountain by myself. Snow was falling, and there was perfect quiet. There wasn't a sound. And I stood there overlooking the mountains and the valleys by myself with the snow softly falling. And there was perfect silence. There was perfect ecstasy. That is the kingdom of heaven. That's what we are searching for. That's the feeling that we miss. Heaven is beyond just a simple static peace. That's not the peace we're talking about. It is a peace so deep and so joyful and so ecstatic that even here we know that that's the search. When we search for a partner, what we're searching for is happiness. When we search for a job that will give us some sort of satisfaction, what we're searching for is the kingdom of heaven. What we're searching for is something that we have forgotten. When in our relationship we want a better relationship, we think back to the moment that we met that person that we fell so deeply in love, and you want to repeat that ecstatic moment that defies definition. That is the kingdom of heaven. We have little moments of ecstasy here in this world, but they're so tiny. But they remind us of home. We're searching for that. And that is found in peace. If we ask for, if we're looking for anything other than the perfect peace of God, then what we're asking for is chaos. And in the time that we live in right now, the things that are occurring in the world, it's a perfect time to make that decision. To make a decision, do we choose the light of ecstasy, the light of heaven? Because heaven again, heaven is not just a state of a peace that is not alive. It's a state of absolute peace that is full of love and ecstasy and a feeling that you don't want to ever, ever, ever come out of. That's what we're looking for here. And that's why we become so frustrated when we look in lots of places and in lots of things and we don't find it. Because we may achieve something. I achieved lots of things in my life. I built the perfect house. I had a big boat. I had lots of the things, the trappings of the world. And there was no way that you could tell me that I was searching for the kingdom of heaven as I did that. I would have said, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Paul. I can look back on it now and know that's the case. What we're searching for is home. We're searching for a place of perfect peace where joy and love get together and create infinite ecstasy forever and forever and forever. And look at your life again. What is it that you're looking for? I sat down a couple of weeks ago, and it was clear to me that I was looking for the ecstasy of God, the kingdom of heaven. And in that moment, I could feel it. It was like heaven smiling. Like, you've gone a little bit deeper. You've gone a little bit beyond what you see. Because the kingdom of heaven, like Jesus would say, constantly, the kingdom of heaven is before us. It's right here, and we don't even see it. Because we are the kingdom of heaven. And so the task is, the discipline is, the beauty is to melt into it. Kind of be like a snowman on a warm, early spring day. We're the snowmen. Let the ecstasy of God, this beautiful, beautiful love for you, melt you back into the kingdom of heaven. There's a feeling there. There's an absolute, it's not an intellectual, this is not intellectual. This is an absolute feeling that you will feel. You will feel this is ecstatic joy if you ask for it. That's the kingdom of heaven. Ecstasy is the kingdom of heaven. And one sort of way, one easy way to get there, to help keep you there, what gets in our way are the thoughts that we hold all day. The thoughts about the worried thoughts. What's going to happen tomorrow? Why did my spouse say that? Why did that letter come in the mail? Am I going to have enough money tomorrow to pay the bill? Why do I have a pain in my back? Why do I have a headache? I wonder what that is. All of these thoughts run through our mind. Those take us out, when we grab onto them, those take us out of the kingdom of heaven, which is perfect happiness and peace. And so, one easy way to help get us there, a very practical way, is to remember, and this is the truth. This is the absolute truth. My past, any thought that I have of my personal past, is the light. My present is the light. My future is the light. My past is the light. My present is the light. And my future is the light. And so when you find yourself in the midst of the day, and we all do it, you're worrying about something that happened yesterday or 10 years ago, something you did or didn't do, something you should have said, something you didn't say, something that happened to you when you were 6, something that happened to you when you're 12. Your past is not yours. The you that you are is the light of Christ. Everything else is a dream. Everything else we, as Christ, imagined. It's hypothetical. It's hypothetical because this world of chaos was produced by the hypothetical question, what if there was something else besides the ecstasy and peace of God? What if there was something else besides that? And that's what this is. The world we see is something else other than the peace and ecstasy of God. And so all of the past that we imagine is in fact our imagination, even though it's hard to come to the conclusion that what you experienced when you were 10 years old is really not you. But I guarantee you this, the more you work with the light, just the thought of light, that's the thought of God and the thought of love. That's who you are. Because when the body drops away, that's what will be there, you as the light. Everything you'll say, wow, it was a dream. It was a dream. All I had to do was be the light while I seemed to walk the earth. Be the light while you are here. So trust the light, which is the love of God. When a thought comes up about the past, my past is the light, Because as Christ, your past could only be the light. Your present as Christ, which is God's child. God is how you have been created and what you were created as in God, could only be present light and love and divinity. Your future could only be light and divinity. So when you think about tomorrow, full stop. Full stop on that thought. My future is the light. My future is the divine presence of God. And trust. Because this is, if this is a battle, if this is a contest between peace and thoughts, all of our intellect will do everything that it can to take us out of the kingdom of heaven. That's the thought system of what's called the ego, or the thought system of the world. It will do everything it can to kill the Christ in you. That's what the crucifixion was about. The attempt to kill the Christ. And as you know, when Yeshua went through the crucifixion, he was very aware that he was the kingdom of heaven, very aware that he was the light. It's impossible to kill the Christ. That's you. Impossible. And you can trust that to take you through the rest of your life. Step back and let Christ walk before you. Let Christ get where you're going tomorrow before you. I step back and let Christ lead the way. Step back and trust the light. Because we know that when we trust ourselves, we're just in stress and turmoil. We're not at peace. And sometimes it does take kind of holding on to the edge of your feet when we're used to being in control and saying, I'm going to trust the light. I'm going to step back and let Christ get there before I do. I do it when I go into courtrooms. And the fights, so to speak, have become much more pleasant, much more peaceful. Things work out without my being involved. It changes the dream. It changes the dream of chaos to the dream of heaven. And then you can look at it and you can smile and you can see the miracle. The miracle is simply choosing the truth. The Course in Miracles is about choosing the truth and letting that walk before you. And as Yeshua walked to the crucifixion, he did just that. He stepped back and let the light walk before him. Thank you.
The round of applause for Paul. That was wonderful. And before I do our closing song, I'm used to saying before we do our closing song, because we all used to sing it together, but now we can't do that. So as I do sing it, please feel free to hum along or think the words. But before we get to that, there's just a couple of quick announcements that I'd like to make, not only for the temple, but for the people that might be seeing this on YouTube and Facebook. Our August book sale is going on still, and it's half price now. So if you haven't had a chance to peruse the tables out there, go ahead and do that. And for those of you that might be interested in making an appointment to come during the week, we can set that up as well. Terry Lake, who is our bookstore manager, will be in the bookstore, and you can come on in and just look through and see if there's anything that you'd like to take home with you. We hope that there is, because there's a lot of just gently used books that would be wonderful for gifts as well. So then the second thing I want to mention is we are still providing food for the St. Petersburg Free Clinic. We're working on our 5th barrel, and if you would like to be a part of that, we would love for you to do so. People from the temple, you can bring it in any time during the week or on a Sunday, but those of you that are interested, that are not here members of the temple or friends of the temple, we would love for you to take part in the donations as well. And what you need to do is call the temple and let us know that you're coming. You can drop the food right outside the door. We've got a little doorbell you can ring, and someone will come out, bring the food, pick it up from the door and bring it in, put it in the barrel. So you don't even need to come in for that part of it. And one other thing that I want to mention that's coming up in the, it's going to be September 5th. It's the Course of Miracles retreat. And I believe, Paul, you're going to be speaking. Gonzalo, I think you're going to be speaking as well. We would like to invite everybody, those of you here at the temple and those of you that don't come to the temple, please join us for a Course of Miracles. We've got a number of classes of the course that goes on here where we love to have that particular belief system spoken about here. So we invite you to that. It's a full day event. And you can find out more information about any of these things I've talked about on our website, which is www.tlgtemple.org, or you can call the temple at 727-822-8628. So please keep those things in mind. If you have any questions, call the temple or check out the website. We've got a lot of information there as well. So now I am going to do our last song of the service. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Go ahead, Steve. It's a Daniel Nahmod song called Love Is My Decision. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision. My decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision. My decision right here and now. Love decision right here and now. Yeah. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for being here.